Lesson 5.3, Solving Multi-Step Inequalities. Our essential question is, what do you need to write an inequality for a word problem? So we're working with all word problems today. All right, write and solve an inequality. Dan has $800 in the bank and makes $12 an hour at his job. How many hours does he need to work to buy a car for $2,600? All right, so for our inequality, remember we need some numbers and a variable. We're going to need math operations, one or more, and we're going to need inequality symbol. So those are all of the pieces that we're looking for. So Dan has $800, so he has $800 in the bank. And he makes $12 an hour at his job. He needs, how many hours does he need to work to buy a car for $2,600? Okay, so if he wants to buy a car that's $2,600, he is going to have to have at least $2,600 to buy that car. So I'm going to pick this symbol, greater than or equal to, because if he had less than $2,600, he can't buy it. If he has greater than, he can buy it, but we don't know. It just says that he needs $2,600, so I think it could be equal to $2,600 as well. All right, now on the other side, he has $800, so he's got that right now. And he makes $12 an hour. So I'm going to add those together. So $800 plus $12 per hour. So this is where we're going to use some multiplication and our variable. Because you're going to multiply the number of hours he worked by 12, his hourly wage. We don't put the variable on the 800 because the 800 isn't happening more than once. The 800 is what he's got to start out, kind of like an intercept. Okay, so now, if we solve this inequality, we're going to subtract the 800 that he already has. That should make sense. We're trying to get to 2,600, and he's got 800. So let's see how much more he needs. So he still needs $1,800. So if I bring down the 12H and greater than or equal to, we need to divide by 12 on both sides to figure out how many hours he needs to work. So if I divide these, 1,800 divided by 12 is 150. So we can say Dan needs to work at least 150 hours. To have enough money to buy the car. Okay, example number 2. Tickets for a game cost $18 each, and there is a handling fee of $3. If you have $66, how many tickets can you buy? Okay, so the tickets are $18 each, and there's a handling fee of $3. So we've got numbers, we've got 18, we've got 3, and if you have $66, so if I have $66, that means that if I'm thinking about my inequality symbols, I can't spend more than $66. All that I have is 66. So I am going to use the less than or equal to symbol here. Less than or equal to. Because I could spend all 66 or I could spend less than that. Okay, now if we think about our operations, we've got this $18 each for the tickets, and there's a handling fee of $3. So I'm pretty certain that I'm going to use addition in between these. Now the only thing is a variable. I need a variable in my problem, and we're trying to figure out how many tickets you can buy. And the tickets are $18 each, so I'm going to put my T after the 18 because each ticket is $18. So I would have to multiply together 18 times T, how many tickets I want to buy. And I think that we've got our inequality now. So let's solve it and see if it makes sense. So I would start out by subtracting the $3 because that's the handling fee. A handling fee is like the company who, like the ticket agency that you're buying the tickets from, it's the money that they're making on top of the price of the tickets. So I've got my AT&T, and then if I subtract this, I get $63. And then I would need to divide by the 18 per ticket cost. And you might be thinking this isn't going to divide evenly, and you're correct on that. So if I divide 63 by 18, I get 3.5. Well, here's the deal. You can't really buy half of a ticket to a game. So if you have $66, how many tickets can you buy? You can buy at the most 3 tickets. So this problem we would need to round down because you don't have enough money to buy 4 tickets. So at the most you can buy 3 tickets. So 3.5 isn't a reasonable answer to this problem. So we need to either round it up or round it down. If we round it up to 4, we don't have enough money. It was less than or equal to 3.5. So less than 3.5, the next integer value is 3. Okay, our last word problem example. Write and solve an inequality. In order to get an A in math, you need 90% or higher. If your first 4 test scores are 84, 93, 88, and 90, what do you need to get on your last test? Okay, so you know that when you average together to get a grade, the average or the mean, it's when you add all of the numbers up and you divide by how many there are. That's what we're going to use here. So add all of the numbers, then divide by how many numbers there are. Okay, so here's the thing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 tests, and then it says, what do you need to get on your last test? So when I set this problem up, I've got 84, I've got 93, 88, 90, and the last test, which I don't know. I don't know that one. But I do know that when I divide them by 5, in order to get an A, I have to have 90% or higher. So that means I want greater than or equal to 90 to be able to get an A. So this is my inequality to solve. So I'm adding together not just the first 4 tests that we took, but that last one that we are going to be taking. So don't forget about that last one. So add together the numbers that you know on the top, and you get 355. So 355 plus the 5th test, and I would have to divide by 5 because there would be 5 tests in all, has to be greater than or equal to 90. So now I can multiply by 5 to cancel out the denominator in my fraction. 90 times 5 is 450. So 355 plus x is greater than or equal to 450. So if I subtract 355 on both sides, I should have that final test score that I need in order to get an A. So 450 minus 355 is 95. So To answer the question, what do you need to get on your last test? I can say you need a 95 or higher on your last test to get an A. Okay. You should be able to write a summary now. Make sure that your summary uses complete sentences and answers your essential question.